myself. I'm Coach Brian Pirana. I've been a health coach for, it's been about 20 years. Started off teaching group exercise classes in 01, got an exercise degree in 04, personal trainer many years. I've owned gyms for about 5, and I've been a remote health nutrition coach for the last 8 to 9. So I literally spend my days talking to people all over the U.S. and beyond about improving their health, their fitness, their nutrition, quite a bit of nutrition guidance. I work a lot with primarily like about 60-70% of people come looking to lose weight. And then the other 30% are a mixed bag of performance gain, like say they wanted to run a race or a marathon or something, chronic illness, digestion issues, you name it. I probably talk to someone about something in relation to doing that and improving themselves. Now, I love that the chat's already moving along. Thanks so much, Alicia, Chris Pratt. I love it. So definitely let's keep this thing active throughout this. If you have questions, please ask. I've had thousands and thousands of conversations throughout the years, and I'm happy to help and give some good insights and all that. So we're going to share my screen and get going in nutrition and fitness. And let's have it pop up. I just had it here. Make sure it registers. I just had it. What's going on? Un momento, we'll refresh this and get it live. So I'll have the chat open and I did all this stuff before. All the technical stuff. I already had it all set. Apparently not enough. There we go. So nutrition and fitness today is what we're going to be talking about, and the content of our conversations. Fitness, nutrition, exercise, energy balance, personalized nutrition, and food is fuel. Okay. So let's jump in. Nutrition, fitness. What does this mean? Is when we think about nutrition directly applied to fitness, we want to improve your performance, whether it's you're on the really athletic side of things and you actually have goals and results and things you're working towards, or we're just on like, I want to show up to the gym and have a good workout type situation. That can qualify as this too. So we're looking to optimize your energy levels. So you want to have good energy going into the gym. You want to be energized before you even do it, so you don't have to rely on that good old motivation and willpower situation. And so this is really, really important. Better nutrition obviously improves muscle growth, muscle tone, so you actually get some muscles for the working out that you do. Recovery. If you work out a lot, you always want to be of the mindset that you are working to recover for your next workout. So it's really important to have the right types of fuel and nutrition practices in the mix. Now, long-term health and well-being, we're looking for making sure that you just stay healthy, you stay as fit and functional as you can throughout your life. And you never have to be in poor health. Poor health costs a lot on the body and in the mind. Effects of poor nutrition. Obviously, we know these things in the body and the mind. The obesity, chronic disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. I have more diabetic type 2 specifically that I'm working with more than ever. And that's a nutritional type situation that you can solve and not have to worry about. Sure, there could be some genetics that play into it, but I definitely, through my experience, think that a lot of it is a nurture thing, not a nature. Like if you're eating sugary foods and you don't move your body, it's potential there is a much bigger risk. High cholesterol in your mind. When you aren't eating well, you are lower energy. You can be more depressed. Anxiety can take over because you don't have enough, like even nutrition and stuff. So we want to make sure that you are staying healthy with lots of vitamins, minerals, and such. Stress can go higher, even on simple things that you didn't think would be stressful. Lack of focus, fatigue. That 3 p.m. nap is a real thing. And you don't want to be having to manage that every single day, being tired in the afternoon. The benefits of healthy eating, obviously we boost immunity. We're not as sick as we could be. You recover faster because you're more nourished in your body. We protect your body from certain diseases, as I said, just even like type 2. If you're eating lots of lean proteins and healthy vegetables and some fruit and a little bit of starch, healthy fats, you're going to be a lot less likely to end up with diabetes-like issues or other heart issues or whatnot that are in this process here. Now, you're just more happy. Your well-being is better taken care of because you don't have just irritation in your body, inflammation. You don't have a lot of the stuff that drags you down, so you have lots of energy. The benefits of proper nutrition. Yes, Mindy, if you want to talk, you can definitely come off and or hit up in the chat as well, since you raised your hand. So you can throw something in the chat. I will keep monitoring it as well so that I can see what's in. There we go. Oh, Dr. Strange. I was at, side note, I was at my kids' field day the other day, and all the 4th, 5th graders were like, "Hey, it's Dr. Strange." I'm like, "I need a cape." Like, "Where's the cape?" So it was pretty funny. All right, no worries, Mindy. Not a problem. So yeah, those 10, 12-year-olds, they were pretty silly. One other reference, random, I'll throw it in there, is the Justin from NSYNC is what I would get sometimes as well. But I digress. So proper fitness nutrition. As much as we can, if you're eating the right types of food, you're fulfilling on your body's overall energy needs. You're not tired from the day's activity. You're not tired from overeating. How many times have you overate something and you get the food coma shortly after? That is a situation of having too much food or calories inside your body and your stomach, and blood pools in your belly. That's why you get food comas. You have all these calories in food when you overeat, and it's a drain on the body. Then you sit down, then you're even more tired and fatigued in the process. As we said earlier, recover from your body, your illnesses and such. Our bodies need energy, of course. And the basic unit of energy is calories, which is really important. They're kilocalories is what it is. And this is a man-made metric so that we understand what our body's needs are and we can account for those. You see those obviously on nutrition labels and such, and understand, example, an apple. It's about 100, 120 calories. So when you eat that, then you know, a quarter cup of cheese or even trail mix could be 100 calories. When you add those things, it's important to know the proper portions along with the calories so that you eat the right amount and don't go off of it. So next up, what we have is having the total amount of energy required for the physiological actions, which are your metabolism. We want to make sure that there's enough energy available to keep your metabolism up. metabolism is adaptive. It can slow down. If you've done a very low calorie diet for too long, it will slow down. It will cause it's like I always use this analogy. If we were standing around a campfire, we're all chatting it up, having a good time, and all of a sudden we're like, wow, it's kind of getting a little chilly out here. And we look at the fire and it's dwindled down to a really small amount. Well, that's like it could be our metabolism, because there's not a lot of fuel on the fire, the wood, to keep it going. And we need to put more wood on. Now, we definitely don't want to throw logs onto the fire, because then we smother the flame. We want to put sticks and twigs and then start to work toward branches as the fire builds up. So that's really important to just like understand that if your metabolism was a fire, it can go, it can dwindle down and it almost feels like you have no metabolism. And then on the other way, I've had clients have done what we would call a reverse diet. After we get the weight off, then we look to get more calories back in the body. You don't want to just eat at a calorie deficit indefinitely. We want to put more food back into your system. I've had people have 200, 300, 400 more calories a day, every day, while maintaining their new lower weight. So some people call it magic. Other people just called science, and doing it in the right manner. So energy obviously comes from food. So humans need food. You could be a breatharian. They believe that oxygen will give you the fuel for your body. I haven't looked much more deep into it, but it is something that's out there that's around. Yeah, I'm going to eat food because I know that's what keeps me alive. As you need and use more oxygen and exercise, like your heart rate goes up, your blood pumping, your muscles go, you obviously need and use more energy. So we have to be conscious of making sure that if you do move a lot more than normal, then we do need to eat more to fuel and recover that body. Energy expenditure. Exercise, activity. What we mean by this is just like exercise. So you're deliberately moving your body, strength training, going on a hike, riding a bike, playing a sport or activity with someone. So there can be a lot of different activity levels or intensity levels, and it's a really a lot, like 90%, 100% effort to like 40, 50% effort, like more like a walk or an easy bike ride. Sedentary. Now, your day, it takes about 10 to 15% of your daily energy demand on your body, just being sedentary, not moving. When you're active, it takes about 30%. So we have obviously different times when we don't move, like sleep, and then we are moving. Like right now I'm standing and I'm moving my body. That's going to be in the neat side of stuff. But like when I worked out today, I did some street hockey in my backyard with my son and my buddy and his son too. So it was, the kids won. Unfortunately, they beat us 2-1 game. So it was like three dads versus 5 kids. They beat us. It's so, but that was part of my like 30% of activity in the day. Now, the one area where people miss the opportunity so much so is in NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So me standing, me moving my hands and talking and being animated here, I'm burning calories. Me mowing the lawn, me parking farther away and walking into work, me playing with my kids, cleaning, walking around the block, going to the grocery store and shopping rather than having like food delivered. All of that stuff is really important. All right, so when dealing with, I got something in the chat, a little question. When dealing with obesity while pregnant, what would the appropriate amount of calories you should be consuming daily to support a healthy pregnancy while maintaining weight? And I would say in this situation, certainly if depending, let's say they're like 30 pounds overweight of our healthy body, I think, again, consult your doctor and stuff, but experience working with pregnant women, experience with post pregnancy situation as well. In that situation, you could technically not gain any weight and just gain all baby. You would have to have the calories aligned with not only your own body's need, but to grow another human. Now, to put in a specific calorie amount, can't do that here with very little details of like height, weight, activity level. Do you like to exercise? What you've done in the last 5 to 10 years in terms of activity level. Those things are all play an important role in determining what could be the right amount of calories. So the answer would be it depends. But chances are you're just throwing a number out. Don't hold me to it, but somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 calories could be a reasonable amount of calories to manage and maintain in that situation. The more important thing is making sure that you are practicing good food choices, balance, and appropriate portions, and not falling to the, baby's craving this, or my body's craving that, or it's 11 p.m. and I just got to have ice cream. That's not going to help you maintain your body weight while you are in that particular situation. All right, energy balance is complicated, right? Just kind of what I just said in that specific example. Everybody's individual environments, how active you are in a day, your genetics, your hormones. Do you have, generally humans can be broken into 3 generalized categories. One being an endomorph. You are more likely to potentially carry more weight on your body. We have our ectomorph type people. Those are your tall string bean type people. And then you have the third is mesomorph people. Think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He looks at weights and he just puts muscle on and stuff. So you have those 3 type things. So depending on where your body is at, just pure genetically, not influenced by your lifestyle. Lifestyle is a huge, huge, huge impact on what happens with your body weight, your health, and all that. If you eat not great food and you sit all the time, you're not going to be in good health faster than someone who eats vegetables and lean protein sources and moves most days. So there's digestion. Protein takes the longest amount of time to digest. Carbohydrates take not as much time or energy to digest, and fat really doesn't take hardly any time or energy. Fat can turn into fat on the body relatively quickly, or stored calories because of the molecular composition of how it's actually created and how your body uses it. All right. Physiological and psychological stressors. So if you have stress on your body from exercise, walking, moving, or just tension, or the mental side of stuff. So many people come, they can't sleep good because they spend a lot of time in their brains, and that they get ready to lay down in bed and they start thinking about all the things that they have to do in the day or next day or what happened today, and they just let their brain run wild. That can happen if you just sat around all day. Your body's not say physically tired, but your mind and your emotions are just drained. So you feel exhausted, but your body's you didn't move me enough. A good example is a gentleman, Javester was his name. Actually still working with him right now. But he sent me a text once. He said, "Brian, I think I cured my insomnia." I'm like, "Oh yeah? Yeah, how'd you do that?" 15,000 steps a day. So he literally wore himself out, and he slept like a baby moving forward. And where he was only moving 2,000 or 3,000 steps before because of life and his choices, whether he was at a desk or he just sat at home or whatnot. So we were able to improve that quite a bit. So exercise and energy balance. Now there's a big range. So the first one we're starting off is high intensity, short duration, all the way to low intensity, long duration. Think of a long bike ride or an easy run or a long walk or something like that. So in high intensity, short duration efforts, your body's going to use a lot of carbohydrates, and fats are mostly used after exercise. So what we do is, in general, like being CrossFit and stuff, is CrossFit, we're looking for, I used to actually own 2 CrossFit gyms. It's super high intensity. We would weight train before the main part of the workout, and then we would do like a cardiovascular high intensity thing after. And we use the carbohydrates to lift and be strong and strengthen our body. Then we use what they would call Metcon, or metabolic conditioning, after you lifted the weights, so that your body would be more carb depleted, and you would allow for your body to tap into the fat reserves a bit more. So you'll always see strength training first, do cardio second. If any of you are a Orange Theory type person, do the floor first, do the treadmill or the rower or whatever after. You'll be more likely to burn more body fat, strategically placing it that way. Plus, the basic thing when I explain this is, when are you strongest in the workout? At the beginning, right? So your body can only physically pick up like a weight. Say we're going to pick 10 pounds up. You can only do so many reps before your body's like, nope, we're not fighting gravity anymore, and we can only lift 8 pounds or 6 pounds as an example. But if we're on the cardio, you can always push. You can always like go. You get your coach or someone's next to you. You can always see that like will of fight and desire to come out. So that's why we do strength training first, then cardiovascular stuff second. Some examples are CrossFit, cycling, sprinting, mountain biking can be pretty challenging. Speed skating, strength sports, just strength training. We've got a low intensity, long duration. Burns more energy during the activity since the person is exercising for a long time. We've got, after the activity is over, the total energy expenditure returns to baseline. So if you go for a do cardio, in a sense, you're burning calories now. When you're doing strength training or something that involves, like, say, muscle building activities that break muscle down to rebuild it, then you're more likely to burn calories over the next 48 hours. So you might burn less calories initially, but you can burn more calories long term. And cardio is just burning calories and then it stops. So you want to have a blend of that. Like, generally, we'll probably talk about it, but 2, 3, 4 times of some sort of a strength training type, higher intensity thing in the week, and then the rest of your week is full of longer duration. So you have this mix and blend. No matter what, I'm always a big fan of like the step tracker, the watch, counting for at least 10K steps. I'm a big 10K step guy fan, and I encourage all my clients to do at least that every day with or without a workout. Next up is choosing the right exercise. So the fuel you burn during exercise is a percentage of your day, right up to like 30%. Look at the time you can realistically dedicate to purposeful exercise. What gets scheduled gets done. So you literally might need to just put it on the schedule to make sure that, like, oh, it's 4 p.m. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to this class. I'm going outside to the hike at the park. I'm going to meet a friend to do an activity. Most importantly, whatever you like to do, do that. That's basic 101. Don't try and like start like weight training or something at the beginning of the year just because it is, May, just because it's January. If you don't like strength training, then you're obviously not going to enjoy it and not continue to do it long term. So what can you physically do is starting there too. So if someone comes to me and they haven't really moved a lot and they're a bunch overweight, I'm not going to sign them up for the marathon program. I'm not going to ask them to do 10K. I'm just going to ask them to do a little bit more than they did last week. So if steps is a really easy way to assess overall movement that they're able to do. So if someone's only at like 3,000 steps, we're going to do like 5,000 steps the next like 7 to 10 days. And then we're going to assess how the body is moving and doing. Why? Because how many times do we end up overdoing it, over exercising, over effort, because you got to like make up for the last year's lack of exercise in this next week, and then you can't move. Or 3 weeks in, oh, my knees are starting to hurt. My back is starting to hurt. We do not want that happening. Energy imbalance. Overall, energy balance is important for optimal performance, right? There are calorie lines. There are times, calories that maintenance level calories. Eating a little less is a calorie deficit. That's what we want. We don't need a lot less. We need enough less. Eating more than calories than you need and burn, that ends up being too much. You start to gain weight. So your body can eat too little, slow down metabolic functions that we talked about. Or if you eat too much, then you're going to store all those extra calories on your waistline. Now, in this example of eating less consistently, your exercise activity, like your actual workout, is going to decrease in performance and effort because you just don't have enough calories. But also your non-activity, you're moving. This stuff here that I'm doing, this is burning calories. You literally just do less. You can't force this if you're just under eating a lot. Your body will crave just to like sit and rest because we're not eating enough food. And that becomes the biggest issue is if someone's in a really calorie deficit and they're working out and they're not used to it, they're going to ultimately potentially burn out or stop doing it or lose focus or not be as consistent, and then they give up on whatever the goals are. So it worsens performance and increases your level of fatigue along the way. Energy balance. Eating a good diet can help provide the energy you need to do the activity that you want. You're more likely to be tired and perform poorly when you don't get enough calories. People are afraid of carbs. And every single person I've ever worked with, I encourage them to eat carbohydrates. We want to eat the right amount of carbohydrates for what their energy needs are. We got to stay lit. We got to drink, right? Here's my 40-ounce container. It has slightly flavored water in it, so that's enjoyable. And that helps me drink more water, encourages it more readily and rapidly. We need to make sure that we have proper electrolytes. We don't need to turn to Gatorade for electrolytes. That's unfortunately, like typical Gatorade just has a lot of sugar in it, not a lot of electrolytes in it. It's just like a marketing thing. But there are a lot of electrolyte tablets or what they would call sticks of powder that, that you can get that will allow you to stay up on your electrolytes. Who needs electrolytes? Probably someone that's actually doing consistent activity, sweating, burning lots of calories. Those are going to be a lot more beneficial for that type of person. If you're just doing moderate activity, I don't really think you need to finish the workout with a Gatorade. It's not not in your best interest. Of course, we need protein to help build the body. I always think of it like this. Protein builds the body. Carbs give your body energy. And fats are for good hormonal balance. So if you think of it generally like that, then it just makes it a lot easier to manage what you're eating on a regular basis. Personalized nutrition. So we have athletes or active individuals. we need, just like with the question I had earlier, we need information. We need to know what your energy needs are, what activity levels are. A lot of people ask, like, what are macronutrients? Protein, carbs, fats. That's what a macronutrient is, or macros as they call them. Ratios, I'm a big fan of starting off more balanced in the process and doing, like 40% carbs, 30 fat, 30 protein. Sometimes you'll see MyFitnessPal or other apps or other people start you out at 50% carbohydrates and like 20 to 25, 30-ish for the protein and fat. So those can be generalized ratios to start off at. Timing of food. Eating carbohydrates around workouts really improves your ability to perform at your best. Having more, say, vegetables around non-active times is just a really intuitive way to strategically place your food in the day and not just like throw your hands up like, I didn't plan, I didn't even think about what I was going to eat today to stay alive, but I'm just going to eat this because it's here, or some marketing thing, a billboard or some ad on my phone triggered me and I'm going to go, say, pull into the Golden Arches and go to McDonald's. Right? That's not really the best situation there to do. Periodization is training cycles. So there could be a strength phase, a speed phase, an endurance phase, a performance phase, a taper phase, and then your peak performance phase, then a recovery phase. That could be a good way to think about it. So certain chunks of time, we could, just for simplicity's sake, break it down into like a 4-week cycle. Like every month you're focusing on strength or speed or endurance or around whatever you're doing, with the idea is that you're going to be able to perform better because you're working on different goals throughout the process. And that's periodization. Any athlete with a coach that's serious about what they're doing has periodization built in. Now, senior population aging, I'm 41 as of now, so I myself am finding that I'm aging too. So things change as we go. We definitely want to focus on nutrient density, like having high, like vitamins, minerals, high quality foods in low amounts of calories. It's way too easy for our seniors to just not move and eat just high calorie foods that aren't nutritious, and then they gain weight and then they gain health issues. So we need to have protein intake. I myself am a big fan of having like 100 grams of protein or more for women and about 140 grams of protein or more for men. That's the general recommendations that I go off the science and off the coaching, thousands of people over the years. Now, you certainly can have a little less. You don't want too much less because then you end up eating more carbs and fats in your diet, and the ratio percentage of those end up causing you to eat more carbs, fats, and those affect your waistline quite more easily in the situation. So social and emotional factors. So like how active are people? I'll finish this and then I'll go to that question. Social and emotional factors. So thinking of the person as like, are they a happy person? Are they sad? Do they have activities to do? Do they not? Are they socially connected to people or are they not? Like humans need those type of interactions, and the more secluded they are, the more challenges they're going to have, and ultimately the less likely they're going to live longer. So humans do best when they're in happy, healthy, emotional, and situational places. All right, so we got a question here. Would you agree that older folks should concentrate on strength training rather than HIIT training? Yeah, definitely. The only time I'd have like a senior that was focusing on HIIT training is if they were actually like training for something. They had goals. They had a specific thing where they needed their cardiovascular system and their body's functionality to be at a higher level. So strength training, no matter what, I promise you, however old you are now, your 70-year-old self will thank you for strength training, for picking up a weight, for trying to get your body to be stronger. Because after age 40, you slowly go downhill, as we know. You slowly decrease and lose muscle over time. So it's really important to make sure you do the things that are necessary to help maintain strength, functionality, and focus so that you can like move and do things and don't feel burdened to your family or something like that. Hopefully that answered that question. I think it did. Are liquid IV packets any good? Yeah, definitely. Again, if you're using like a packet of electrolytes, I would probably make sure that you're doing activity, that there's a reason for you to do it, because they're like $1 a stick and it's just not economically makes sense for you to do that and have it just because it's electrolytes, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of different ones out there. They generally have some sodium, some potassium, some magnesium and different things. I actually like from just looking at what's in the products, like Liquid IV or Drip Drop or Element, or there's a bunch of different ones. Like Emergency, the immune booster. It's like 33 cents a packet. It has all the things that all the other ones do. It doesn't have any sodium in it, which some have a lot of sodium and can be used for different things, but you could always just use it and salt your water as well. There's a Salud. I have not come across that one specifically. I've just really landed on Emergency as being the one because of the cheapness, and what's in it is generally more than any of the other ones. It has a lot more of a micronutrient panel. So, but that definitely works. So if you mix Emergency with sparkling grape juice, great. It's delicious. Great time to have that like around a workout. The grape juice is going to give you energy, the sugar in it and whatnot. But to just drink this just because, like I would just say, hey, just pay attention. There's calories and carbs and sugar in your grape juice without any fiber and stuff. So you just want to be paying attention to that. So another question, do you recommend vitamin supplements in addition to healthy diet? A men or women's one a day is usually it. We're going to still try to get lots of colors, lots of nutrition from our food. Colorful foods, lots of vegetables, fruits, and healthy, lean protein sources, healthy fats are going to help really do that. You could do like a fish oil if you wanted. Find a high quality fish oil. I like Stronger, Faster, Healthier is the one that I have used. It's an actual liquid. But you can just buy some over the counter too. So why wouldn't you recommend taking electrolytes if you're not working out? I just don't think that they're necessary. If you're eating good food, like what do you need electrolytes for? They could like fill in the gaps, I guess, but if your body doesn't need them, you're just going to pee them out anyways. So then, if you have a electrolyte $1 a day, you spend $365 on this thing that you're hoping is going to work for you or not. And maybe it does. Maybe you feel better. But then that could just then circle back to like, hey, what are you actually eating every day? Are you doing a good job finding that balance, finding a good approach around food to help keep your energy levels up and stuff and not rely on like a supplement? We always want to think of these things as supplemental to the diet and stuff. But if you enjoy it and you do feel better, there's like some anecdotal evidence like, hey, I take this and I feel better. Great. If you watch too much YouTube about entrepreneurs and their hydration routines in the morning, they're going to say, I drink the hydration packet in the morning, then I have my coffee like 2-3 hours later, because they say that the caffeine receptors aren't ready for caffeine like first thing straight up out of the go. And you actually do better having coffee delayed and you just drink water with some electrolytes or just water, and then you push your coffee to like 10 or something. And then you only need one coffee because the 10 o'clock will get you all the way through to the afternoon. And then in the evening, the caffeine's worn off, and then you'll just naturally get more into more of a sleep cycle. What happens is that you over-caffeinate, you have in the morning, in the afternoon, or whatever, and then all of a sudden, caffeine's still in your system when you go to bed. You might not rest very well. Good questions. Keep them coming. Hopefully they're good answers for you. Busy professionals. Well, BUSY. Everyone I've ever talked to is busy. So consideration for personalized nutrition. We need to make sure that you're paying attention to your schedule. We need convenient meals. You can have a very healthy, convenient meal if you have better skill sets and better knowledge about how to prepare food or have it available. So that is convenient. Convenient food doesn't have to be in a package. It doesn't have to be in a Tupperware container. You have to have skill sets around food preparation, planning, timing, and executing on it. These are things I work with people every day to understand when in the day should I eat? What should it be? How do I have balance? How do I have, someone brought something into the office. How do I manage that? Or like work's buying lunch today and I had this wonderful meal I was ready for. What do I do? These are things that we talk about to figure out how to make sure that you can either participate or at the very least you're doing things that are in your best interest. And you may or may not need to eat whatever got brought into the office. I'm working with a guy, his name's Dallas right now. He is, he's noticing that the candy jar at the office is significantly more full, these last couple of weeks because he's not eating it. And so no one else is really eating it. It was just him. And so, he's just like, I was consuming a lot of calories and candy and stuff at the office, and we've given them a lot better structure around how to do that. Last thing on meal timing, I like this. It's a really easy thing I say to people. Eat enough food to get you to the next time you're going to eat again. Because all humans are going to make bad choices if you overextend how long you go between eating. So, and yeah, fasting, as an example, could or could not be a good solution for you, depending on what your life is. Sometimes I've told people, it literally makes no sense that you fast. And here's why. And they're like, oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Because they're trying to eat at weird times of the day that don't even make sense or something, or they're preserving their calories to end up overeating in the day anyways because of bad food choices, because they're hungry or hangry. All right, high stress individuals. Food is love, happiness, sadness, excitement, anger, frustration. Food can be a lot of things. And if you tie food to a coping strategy around stress or emotion, you need to figure that out. You need to pay attention to what triggers you. What do you want to do? How do you relate to stress and food at the same time so that you just don't overeat? And if we're eating at regular times, then it can be really just somewhat logical to overcome the emotional state that you're in to avoid overeating. Having balanced meals or having food prepared help with that situation as well. Food is fitness fuel. All right. What we have next, anytime meals can be eaten anytime outside of physical activity. We want to make sure that we're sustained energy, stabilizing blood sugar. We have daily nutrient requirements being met. Lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. Good example that you could pack for lunch every single day is a sandwich, some lean protein on it, maybe a slice of cheese, some carrot sticks and an apple. You could take that every day and have wild success with managing your food. Things like dinner, pasta, and a protein with some veggies on the side. So not having a mound of pasta, but have a serving of pasta with a serving of protein and lots of vegetables. Much more strategic way to build a meal that allows you to not have to worry too much about how many calories you're eating because your portion control around the foods. And yes, people I work with eat pasta and bread and rice and potatoes and all that stuff. Are 4 to 5 small meals a day better for metabolism than just 3? No, they're not. Your body's gaining or storing fat. It's gaining or releasing carbs for energy. It's gaining protein or using protein to build or use. It's using energy and calories. Sometimes it's storing it. Your body's constantly doing these things. We don't have any control over that stuff. You do have control over, obviously, what goes in your mouth and what goes on your plate and how you prepare it, of course. But, most of the clients I've ever worked with are going to eat 3 to 4 times a day. It's more important for them to have a plan, a balanced meal, better accessibility to food, and make sure that they're able to actually fulfill on eating at those times in a controlled calorie amount. That's going to do far better. I always say this. Some people should I fast or should I not eat after this time, or should I have 4 meals or 8 meals or 2 meals in a day? And I like 3 as a bare minimum. I generally eat about 3 to 4 times a day most days. Now, if you lost 10 pounds in a 4-week time frame, does it really matter when you ate your meal or how many meals you ate in a day? Nope. Why? Because you're in a calorie deficit. So good job. Well done. That's what I tell you. Excellent. So why is it working? And then we start reflecting back on the strategies, the behaviors, the lifestyle, the activity that you're doing to create that. Does that help with that answer? I think it does. So what we want to make sure, though, too, is that the more that you eat, the more likely a little extra calories are going to slip in here and there. 20, 30 calories here, 50 calories there, that thing you grabbed as you moving your body from one place to the opposite to the other, and that was 50 calories. All of a sudden, you ate 200 more calories in the day, and you're like, no, I didn't. Well, yes, you did. There's 30 more calories on your plate at this meal. You had that 50-calorie thing, and then this, and now you have 200 more calories in the day, and you're more toward calorie maintenance level, not calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight. And you're like, but I'm tracking and I'm paying attention, I'm meal prepping and all these things, but you still overate. It doesn't matter how well you did, you're not losing weight, so you're not in calorie deficit. Hopefully that helps with that example too. So if you're trying to eat 6 meals a day, it's really easy to just have a little bit more. So 30 more calories at each meal, which is that's a quarter of an apple. That's a lick of peanut butter. That's like a teaspoon of oil. It's so unnoticed. But times 6, 30 times 6 is 180 calories. And that could keep you from losing weight. So you have to pay attention. Post-workout meals. So hopefully I helped with that question. Great one. You guys are the best one I've had in a long time. Asking questions, engaging. So it's wonderful. Everyone's quiet on the other end usually. So I appreciate it. Post-workout meals, you really, in general, 30 to 60 minutes after a meal is a good time to have protein and carbs. You want to find food that's quickly digestible. It helps boost metabolism, helps rebuild muscles. It helps recover the body, replenish muscle glycogen stores. That's stored carbohydrates in your muscle. Helps with protein synthesis. So protein shake, banana with peanut butter. You could just literally eat a meal, a dinner, like chicken, broccoli, and some rice or potatoes or whatever. So, all right, next up. Wendy, general rule of thumb is avoid eating immediately before workout. Well, I didn't design this, so I ate right before my workout today. And the reason is I eat simple carbohydrates that actually got my blood sugar levels to go up so I could then use those blood sugar levels to then fuel my activity. Now, if you eat too much food and you can't work out or you get an upset stomach, don't eat. Don't eat that type of food. In general, for most people, though, fueling 1 to 3 hours before working out is a really good time for the body to simulate that, digest the food, and not have food sitting in your stomach so you can actually like function and do a good workout. But you can always experiment with different times. We got another question. What is the best way to start losing weight, like starting out? Well, things that we've been saying. If I have a basic, my very first call with someone, I want them to understand how many calories they're eating, when in the day they're eating, what type of portions they should be eating, and how to build meals that are best for them. And I don't prescribe meal plans like you're going to eat this at this time and this time. That doesn't work. That was like done in the 60s or something, and it nobody follows it. So what you have to understand what nutrition is and understanding how to build a balanced meal. You're going to put a protein, some vegetables or fruit on the plate, and some surgery carb in a controlled portion. Most women are going to eat around 300 to 400 calories for a meal. Most men are like 400 to 500, depending on how many meals they eat. And then you just have to pay attention and be consistent. Consistency over time is why I get paid the big bucks and why people need help, because they have Memorial Day comes up and they ate a little bit more and then they give up for 3 days because the scale went up. Well, that's not a good way to go about that. So, you have to stay in a calorie deficit, and you need to know and understand where that calorie deficit is for your body. And that's why you hire someone to help figure it out. So, during the holidays, right? Everyone will Monday, right? Is a holiday. You could have overeaten. I say this, however many days you're off is however many days it takes to get back on. So if you had a really enjoyable Memorial Day weekend and you had friends and family from out of town in on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's 4 days. So then we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to recover from the really fun time. You're not even going to step on the scale and even consider where you're at till Friday in comparison to Thursday or Friday morning the week before. So you're taking a full 7-8 days off in a sense of actually making forward progress. And as long as you're okay with that, then cool. Good job. That's fine. You had a blast. If I go on vacation, I'm not stepping on the scale until the next Friday. I already know what I'm in for if I got home and stepped on the scale next day. It just doesn't make sense. And for me, we travel a lot, to domestic, international and stuff. So, have to manage. In general, I'm managing portion size. I'm not coming 10 pounds heavier. Something I might be 2 or 3 pounds up or something, because I'm still being conscious of calories and trying to not just overdo it. Carbs, before they provide energy, replenish glycogen stores, reduce muscle soreness, repair and grow the muscles. Gotta make sure I don't run out of time. Protein builds and recovers your body. It helps to slow down hunger, for appetite regulation. It helps build nails and hair. There's a lot of other processes. Protein molecules are everywhere in your body. So it's definitely something that you want. Fluids, I'm always a big fan of 80 ounces for women, 100 ounces for men. But water to the body is like oil to a car. So you do need this stuff. Our bodies are an open system, so you constantly have to put more in. Here's some examples. If you want to take a screenshot or something, or a picture of different things you could eat before and after, before the workout. It's carbohydrates, basically. I'll eat a bowl of cereal, some protein powder mixed in before a workout a lot. That works really well. Post-workouts, here's another. You could just eat dinner. If you it doesn't have to be this special thing. It's for the love. Don't add calories on top of what dinner is, because you have to have the protein shake after you work out. Just eat enough protein at dinner. So thank you. 2 minutes to spare. Any questions? Happy to answer. We got support at wellable.co. I hope that you've enjoyed our conversation today on nutrition and fitness, and I'm happy to